Hello everybody, welcome to the Firefly Studios weekly stream. For those of you who have never been here before, this is a stream we do every single week when we can, where we play a stronghold game, or maybe a different one, such as MetaMorph, like today. So this week we're going to be doing some MetaMorph. I am Aaron Hayden, your host. I will be joined by Paul, but he's not here at this moment in time. Hopefully he'll be here in a second. We're going to play through some MetaMorph, but I get it loaded up. If there are any technical issues, please let me know in the chat section, and I will get those sorted for you. But yeah, we're just going to play through some random levels to give you guys a glimpse at the game. As you can see here, we've got a bunch. I'm using the new controller support. We recently added this. So we've unlocked a bunch of levels, like we can go all the way up to level 1. We've unlocked all these levels. You can see the little goblins and stuff chilling out. Originally the plan was to get Paul to play because he's much better at MetaMorph than me, but for starters, I will give it a go. So we will play. We'll start off with an easier one because, as I said, I'm not that great. So we'll start off with reinforcements, shall we? Let's make sure the sound is working. Start off with an easier one because. Yep. Okay. Right, let's get in this. So yes, for those of you who are Stronghold fans that have not seen MetaMorph, this is our early access release. We released it last December. Currently we're playing with these 3 characters, the Rat Man, the Ogre, and the Fire Nymph. And basically the premise of the game is to go through loads of dangerous dungeons with waves of lethal foes and use these elemental creatures to dispatch them. It's, a bunch of fun, really easy to pick up and learn. Little snack game, it's been called, because you can just pick it up, play a level for 3 minutes, have a bunch of fun, kill a bunch of enemies, and yeah, drop it down as quickly as you picked it up. And as I said, there are different elemental types. As you can see here, we're using the Fire Nymph, which is obviously a fire elemental. Trying to kill these guys with shields, but obviously ranged attacks against shields aren't great. So we'll switch to the Ogre and use his clobber. Bring down some rocks on them. There we go. And kill these guys. There's also a bomb here that you can activate, and that will blow up. We'll use her X ability, which I can't remember what it's called, but basically multi-shot I think it's called actually. They all have ultimates and stuff. These loadouts are completely modifiable. Is that a word? So you can switch out abilities at the menu screen, which I'll show you later. These are called generators. They generate these skeletons and the various enemies within the game. So it's really up to you to be fast enough to go over there and kill them before they spawn any more enemies, because they'll just keep spawning if you do nothing. So we'll use the rat's ability to cloak, and then switch over to the Ogre and hit this generator. There we go. Use multi-strike, and that's all of them dead. So we'll progress through here, and I'll say hello someone, thank you for the kind words. And we'll get these gold pieces. Right, so as you can see, there's a goblin in the center there, and I've got 30 seconds to go and save him. Hello. We are live currently.
Smashing.
Sorry, there's chat section.
I brought my own biscuit.
Oh, nice.
No.
I'm I was hoping you'd be playing because you're the resident.
Oh, yeah.
Got most practice in.
What level are you playing?
I can't remember, like 20, I think.
That's a good one,
Yeah, most of them are unlocked, so I just picked a more challenging one. So,
Sorry. It's getting comfortable.
Nice. But yes, done my little sales pitch. Explained what's going on. So we're saved the goblin. We've got a few more guys up here.
So you explained saving goblins.
Yes. I can't remember what you get for saving goblins, but
what it's all about is, the levels have got a 3-star system.
Oh yeah.
So you get a star, as you can see here, you get a star for finishing the level, you get a star for rescuing the goblins, and you get a star for doing the level within the time limit that we set.
Okay.
And if you earning those stars, there are bonus star levels at the sort of sides. Can't remember how many we've got now. I can't remember.
A lot.
I don't know, 7, 8. But they're kind of cool because they're kind of jam-packed with enemies. They're a bit harder, a bit more of a challenge, and you get there's chests that you can unlock. So if you complete star levels, you get some cool stuff afterwards.
Grand.
So, but you use the stars to unlock the star levels.
Fair. Shall we show them a star? Would you like to show them a star level?
Oof. I was going to say which one is that, but not even I can tell. So, yeah.
Would you like to take over and I'll...
So are we swapping seats?
Yes,
I'm going to take my biscuit with me. Don't trust you.
Right, so while there is sound if you'd like it over the little headset.
Oh, right. Yeah, actually, I'm not very good at playing MetaMorph where they sound. Wow, this is loud. I can't hear anything now.
You turn it down a bit. I think there's a... hello, Gamelot Studios.
Thank God this keyboard's got sound controls. It's on 96. What? Okay.
Hello, Andre. Hello, Lionheart. Rinius. Speaking Russian. Don't know what you said, but hopefully it's hello. Someone... Gerard, hello.
My favourite star level 4.
Star level 4?
Yeah, I can't
what's
remember which one
so
it is.
special about star level 4?
That's the one that QA and I were speed running.
Oh, I see. Who won in the end?
That's the one I like. I can't remember where 4 is though. I thought it was on this side.
I don't know. It depends, Gerard, what question you ask about Stronghold next. We can answer certain questions, but if you have seen our Q&A, lots of them are answered there. I don't think there's much else we can answer right now until the gameplay reveal. But yeah, if you want to throw a question, I'll do my best to answer it, but no guarantees. Gamelot Studios asks what the original pitch was for MetaMorph.
It's a good question. We like the idea of making a... We just like dungeon games for a start. And it was the idea of bringing some strategy into a kind of action game. Yeah. So we call it a strategy action game. Well, I call it a strategy action game. So it's the idea of making it a bit more strategic rather than just a standard dungeon crawler where you just go, rather than just a hack and slash. Yeah. It's designed that you're meant to think about it. So it's more of a puzzle element. So there's that idea that, we're traditionally made strategy games. And so, adding some strategy into a genre that we happen to like. Flair, and and it's a bit different. Bit of a departure for us, Yeah,
exactly. So,
treacherous trap torment.
Bit obsessed with getting the alliteration.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't really work though, I don't think. Not blame.
Alright, here we go.
I can't remember. Oh, gosh. What's the... Yeah, but you might not... Oh, see, you've got a weird setup. Hang on.
Yeah.
Which one is this? So, Ratman's quick. You've not even got the rabbit. Oh my gosh.
This was the... I don't remember doing this. I don't remember because I have all the levels on. I think it's because it was on the dev release.
I'm not used to So bombs here are very important.
Oh,
sorry.
there you go. Nice.
See, normally I always have the rabbit. I can't imagine. Well, I can imagine not playing with rabbit because I'm doing it right now. But it's not normal.
But you like the. I mean, the Ratman gives you enough speed.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true. But yeah, it's true. I'd normally go because the rabbit's the all-rounder. So bad character choices. You don't see that's classic bad character choice.
That's what we call it in the studio.
See the idea of these, try and do them quickly.
Yeah. But it's got that.
Oh, shit.
Well, this one ain't. There's some tight angles here.
Wow. Oh, that's a good. You have got that. Okay. So yeah, some really useful. So obviously the powers, the better the power, the more expensive it is. So those two I just use are pretty expensive because they do a lot of damage.
Yeah,
it's important to take out the generators quite quickly, obviously.
Yeah. It's the mana management.
Whoa. Come on. Oh my gosh. Whoa. What am I doing? Have we got the... Oh, that's important as well. Cool. Nice. So, just giving myself a bit of encouragement there.
Got a question of what the minimum requirements are for Stronghold next. I'm not sure we can answer that at this time. It's pretty far off. But
it's one of those things that, we check that. Well, obviously we bear it in mind as we're developing it, but the idea is always to get it as low as possible. But Stronghold games,
strategy games
are quite complicated.
Strategy games in general can usually.
Well, the problem with Stronghold games is that having all of those units on the screen at the same time, they're individuals.
Yeah.
So a lot of strategy. Oh, I'm gonna die! Oh my gosh! Oh, I should have died. Oh, I'm not gonna die. Marvelous. Oh, what happened there?
So you got one couple of guys. Oh no!
Bad move. What was I say? Oh yes, because Stronghold games. Yeah, you can create individual units, so all those individual units can go wherever they want to, which is quite intensive on the CPU.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of strategy games, you'll notice they go for groups of units, because then you can have 5 units all essentially.
Like Total War and stuff.
Going around only doing one pathfinding call. But Stronghold
individual, each
it's
individual
what people expect. I know we'd get a lot of complaints if we moved to that kind of system.
Yeah.
So, which fair enough. But it's just something we've always got to bear in mind. But it does tax the CPU quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm using the wrong character. See, it's even worse than last time. Oh, that's good though.
Yeah,
okay,
so
I'm going to lure them into the fire.
Indeed. So Paul is now using the fire elemental because obviously she is immune to the fire traps, which the enemies are not, as you can see.
Hopefully. Although... Oops.
Yeah, they've got a bit of pushback now, that spell.
Yeah.
I think there's one final guy up there, I think. Watch out for the...
Yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, there he is. Oh, see, I've poisoned him, you see. So Ratman, he's got a very light attack, but he poisons the enemy. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that was bad.
We've got a question from CJ. What are some of the highlights or hurdles from the MetaMorph development process? Any spring to mind?
Well, it did take us, we had the kind of the basics of the gameplay up and running relatively quickly, but it was just sort of, it took us a while to kind of figure out how the levels should actually play.
Mm-hmm.
We eventually went for much more of a sort of bespoke. So each level is a bespoke, puzzle.
Yeah.
And originally we were trying to kind of avoid that just because of having to, do each level basically by hand. It's quite intensive. But we just found that when we were experimenting with gameplay, it just made it more fun because it was, it meant that it was very specifically designed for the character set, and we had a lot more control over it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just laying a bomb down, get out of the way. Boom.
Nice.
Fire.
This isn't a nice level.
Oops. Oh, see, that's a great moment. You just whack off the edge. Oh, what's he doing? Oh.
The other one just fainted.
So I'm not very good at playing games and actually talking at the same time.
Well, I thought it would be a bit more, because obviously Stronghold, when we're streaming that, is sort of like, especially the first 10 minutes, it's just like trying to remember everything you have to do
it's true.
while hosting a stream. But then I was like, this will probably be easier. But then I'm just like, oh wait,
no. The problem is this is just intense.
there's no downtime with this.
No, exactly. You've got to be on the ball, otherwise things.
But I'm asking you the development process questions.
But I don't know. The thing is that what we always knew, right from the start, the switching characters mechanic was like one of the core principles of the game. It's the idea that rather than dungeon crawler where you go in just with one character and you stick with that character the whole time. The idea that it's a bit like I describe it a bit like Gauntlet in that you go in with 4 characters, 4 different people have 4 characters. It's like going in there, but with being able to switch between those 3 characters, but just playing on your own. And that mechanic was one of the, it was in there right from the start. Yeah, and it always felt great. It felt great from as soon as we got it in there. It always felt great, and being able to switch between them quickly was really key. And that has always worked really well, and underpins the game quite a lot. Yeah.
Well, whenever we went to shows to show it, that was always the main thing that people highlighted from it.
Yeah, exactly. The feedback. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry. The feedback on shows is always like people really like that, don't they? That's always, and the feel of the powers. People love the dropping rocks down because you're meant to. The game's meant to make you feel powerful. And when you do a special move, it's meant to have a big payoff. Yeah. And so that was always that's key. It's about the game's about knowing when to use the special moves at the right time, and the better you get at the game, as I'm not demonstrating, the better which move to do at the right time. So absolutely, it's like, and part of having the star system in there is to encourage people to try and replay levels to get more stars. But by doing that, they get better at the game, and I think it's a fun game when you instinctively know what to do at the right time. You see a poison enemy, to use the fire nymph. You see loads of enemy around you, to drop the rocks on them, and you got the loadout system as well, so people can experiment with their favorite loadouts. It's a bit like I don't know, we're revisiting Team Fortress 2 at the moment, and there's loads of loadouts, but some people just love. I can't talk, and some people I get along with a certain loadout for characters, but everybody in the office tends to have a different loadout for different characters because that's just it's how you play, and how the loadout kind of suits your style, I think.
Okay. We'll let you power through this level.
The first go was much better than this. And it is. It sounds like a massive excuse, but the game is meant to be hard. It's meant to be a challenge. Oh my god, I'm already almost dead.
It's hard to play in stream.
No,
Maybe you should have picked an easier level to
I know.
get the practice back in. So while you power through this, so thank you very much, Stronghold Next. Yes, we're working hard on doing that, making that gameplay reveal as special as we can. That'll be really cool when it's finally released. Can't say when though at this time. Hello Temryu, how's it going? No Taz, don't worry. As soon as we can stream Stronghold Next, we will be doing it. But that's unfortunately a while off yet until we have it in a playable state. CJ, what's your background and how do you end up with Firefly? So while Paul's playing, I'll
Nice,
try to get.
Don't talk to me.
Try to get through this particular room. My background's actually in film and TV. That's what I studied, and that's what I've sort of aspired to be when I was younger. But Firefly was lovely enough to give me a job to try and make their games look good and the studio look good with the form of video. So it was just like an ample opportunity for me, I suppose. But yeah, I'm trained in video production and stuff like that. I couldn't write a line of code if you wanted me to. Like, I have no idea how to do all that stuff. So whenever you have complaints about various Stronghold games, don't bother coming to me because I have no idea how to fix them. But yeah.
Oh no! No! That's so.
But yeah, one day Nick needed some help, I assume.
Yeah, well, obviously, video obviously was becoming so important.
Video,
we did. Obviously we did communication through social media. Like every company, you start off tentatively and you kind of do social media, and then it starts getting to a point where you need
content to put on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we needed someone that understood, how to make videos, what videos work best, how they should look, and how best to communicate to people. And so we couldn't find that person, so we got Aaron.
I was like, you're being far too complimentary.
It felt weird.
I was like, where's the sting? I was waiting for the sting. There it is. But yeah, as Paul said, video is such a massive part of talking to your audience these days, no matter what sort of medium you're in. As you guys know, we post videos every single week on our YouTube channel, and whenever we've got a big announcement, we usually do it through video because making a funny or exciting video is so much better than just writing sort of a blog post. So that's why basically I got into Firefly. Paul's tale is probably a lot longer and
mine's slightly unusual actually. Wait a minute. Stop. Oh.
You got invis.
Oh, look, I activated a special move basically just to make myself slightly invulnerable, and that didn't work very well. What did I do? I realised from an early age I was not an artist or a programmer.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a business degree at university.
Mm-hmm.
Not really sure what I want to do. I kind of liked the idea of doing something like finance or something, but but I always, loved computer games, and when lots of people I knew sort of, drifted away from computer games as they got older, I was still massively into it. And so I left university and I needed a job, and I saw actually my mum saw a job advertised for a computer games company in London that was looking for QA tester.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, yeah, obviously I'm not going to do that I'm not going to work in computer games for all my life, so I'll do it, might as well get a job while I'm looking for a proper job.
Yeah.
And luckily I got that job. That was at a company called Impressions, who... I was working on a game called Ultimate Soccer Manager, if anybody remembers that. Nice. It's quite long. It's quite a long time ago. 'Cause I just remembered I was working on Ultimate Soccer Manager '98. So there you go. You can tell how long. Simple maths will tell you that was quite a long time ago now. So yeah, I did that for a while. Loved it. you know. Ah, come on. Sorry. I've just got to sort this out before I carry on my boring story.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
But yeah, while I was there... Oh, that's the wrong character.
We'll get
See, the problem is I always have, right, the rabbit in the middle is my default character, right?
It's throwing you off.
And then, I would always have the fire nymph or the rat man, but I'd always choose the ogre. So if I'm the rabbit, I know to do once to flick to the ogre and twice to flick to the, or that cycle. So
we can always quit out.
I know. I'm worried. I'm getting used to this. But yes. So boring. Where do I get to?
You were doing.
No. So when I was at Impressions, I got involved in IT work there because the IT manager left, and so I took over running the computer systems there.
Okay.
Then Impressions got closed down, which is sadly common in the computer games industry.
Yeah.
And so I decided to pursue a career in IT instead. So I became a systems administrator. But I discovered that was very boring, and you had to be super interested in boring technology to really be good at that.
Yeah.
Wasn't
fulfilling.
Well, it's it's like I remember my boss was like coming in and was like super excited by some new server system, I just thought it's just boring as hell. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like computers and I like everything, but I don't get excited by certain technology like that. So and it was much more fun shipping computer games than it was.
Yeah.
So I did systems administration for a while. It was alright, but it was a bit boring, and then I went travelling for a year.
Very nice.
And I came back, and just so happened that no!
Invis! You got invis.
Oh, just make some space. Have I done it? Who's left?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I got 3 health.
Did you get? Is there a guy over there?
Oh no, there's a whole generator.
Oh,
no. Oh wait. I could cloak, and then I've got okay, cloak.
Oh no! It took too long. Oh no!
Sorry, this is getting a bit boring now, isn't it? Yes, so I got back. Firefly needed a producer type person. I applied for that, and because Firefly is a small company, so it was handy that I had my systems administration skills as well as my QA experience, and so I became a producer.
Yeah. And
that's what I've been doing for a long time now.
Very nice. Yes, probably should have introduced you as our producer. People just wondering, so what job does Paul do? Yes, Paul is our senior, just producer or senior producer? We don't really have job titles.
I don't care. Whatever. Senior, because I've been here too long.
Nick's changed my job title like 3 times.
Anything good?
Yeah, my favourite was video marketing coordinator. Then I told him what that was, and he was like, "No, you don't." I was like, "Oh man,
coordinator."
So now
that's surely just a.
Sometimes I talk to the.
When you don't know what to call someone, you just call. I think a coordinator.
Well, that was my official on my offer letter. So
fair enough. Yeah.
I assume that was the case back then when don't really know what he's gonna do, but
exactly. It's the one we made up.
But now I think Nick settled on videographer, which sounds made up apparently, according to my mum.
It's what?
Videographer. Apparently she thinks that sounds made up.
Oh,
doesn't
really?
believe me. Yeah. I don't know.
That sounds quite good.
Yeah. I know, I quite like the title, but yeah.
I quite like the idea of that.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Yeah, Nude Master. That's pretty accurate. He's dead.
No, I'm going to get out of this room. Okay?
It says, you dead, you almost dead, you dead.
Yeah.
We've got the question that gets asked every single time we have a stream.
What's
How
that?
did you guys come to have Sir William in the office? There's several, but I think there's quite a few versions of the story I've heard.
What? I was here when it happened, right? So don't believe anyone apart from me.
Well, it was only Nick really that told me it was like a last one in the warehouse or something like that.
I don't know where that story's come from. I don't know. Maybe he's right. I don't know. But basically, so Stronghold 2 was published by Take Two.
Yeah.
Or 2K, and look, I'm talking again. I'm failing miserably. No, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to switch to the ogre.
Anyway, you had the statue. There was Take Two. It's getting rather intense.
Stronghold 2 was published by Take Two.
Yeah.
So for retailers, they made up those Sir William statues they could have in the shops to promote it.
Yeah.
And so they sent us one.
Simples. Yeah, that's much simpler than the other.
Well, it makes more sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
Than any elaborate.
Yeah, last one in the factory or whatever.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. No. Well, hey, we made the game. I think it should. Yeah. So they thought they'd send us one. Which is nice, isn't it? We like freebies.
Indeed. Greetings, White Ghost. Hello from England.
No, come on. Oh, I don't know what to use. Oh, I'm failing miserably. Okay.
You just like take him around the side.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, I'm messing it up again.
What's the matter over there?
True.
Yeah, we did some. I did some tests with the sound earlier, and it seemed good at our end. Perhaps it's your end, Noob Master, but let me know if it persists. Right, how are we doing? It's a good answer.
Don't want these sport people. Have I not? Let's hope there's some more health around. Oh, I haven't got any mana. Oh no, there's the mana. Oh my god, that was lucky. Okay. Oh, slightly elaborate there. Okay, it's alright. I'm making space. I'm taking my time. Oh, I can't. I need. Oh wait a minute. I've got. Okay. Oh, there's mana. Okay. We're looking good again. Oh god. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
nearly.
Okay, I'm gonna just play it safe here.
Fair safe.
Because no one wants to see me do this again. Literally no one. Okay, let me just use my glowing hands of joy. Come on,
Yeah,
die.
I've noticed the new particle effects. I haven't played MetaMorph in a couple of months, and
What?
the new updates have been rather good.
Is that? Oh, there's a generator there. What
Yeah.
the hell? Oh, I had it ages ago. No, I don't want to die. Oh my gosh, I thought it was a bit odd there.
Okay, so I'm on the edge of my seat here, so I can't.
It's alright. No. I can just use the fire. I can just. I'm easing into this one. Stop talking. Start concentrating. Oh yeah, but there's a healer there. See, it's a healer. I've got
A couple more.
What's that healer? Is that healer? Oh, yeah. Whoops, missed.
Ooh.
Hey!
We did it!
God, the whole stream breathes a sigh of relief. Oh, time.
Now we're into a timed room. Yeah, this is some of the some various challenges within MetaMorph include some timed levels. So as you can see, Paul must complete this room within the allotted time. There are time circles, I guess, on the floor that he can grab, which will give him more time. But obviously those are hidden within lots and lots of enemies, so...
Ah!
Oof.
Oh, that was quite good. Hey!
Hey!
Not me to pick up myself, but... Ah. I didn't really mean to...
That's working out. Nice.
It's a bit dark there. I couldn't really see what I was doing.
I've often wondered how Firefly has been around for so many years. Any of the others. I realised how that could sound sort of backhanded as I read it, but I think he means it in goodwill. CJ again. How many of the old guard are still involved with the company? So Simon and Eric are co-founders.
Yep. So Simon and Eric, who obviously...
Oh, weird, we did it.
The founders of the company. The original programmer of Stronghold, still with us.
Is that Andy Prime?
Yeah.
Andy Prime,
So QA team, Darren and QA made the original Stronghold game. So, yeah.
So, yeah, it's quite a few.
Yeah.
Generally, we stick around.
Yeah, it's good. You know, the thing about Firefly is we try and run it sensibly. So, what am I doing? Sorry. I'm trying to find other levels there. I can't remember which.
Perhaps
How
not
many
so
star
challenging.
levels are there? There's one.
You also might want to change your loadout as well.
That's true, I could. I know, but now I've made the excuse, you see. Now when I fail miserably, I haven't got any excuse.
You wanna...
Oops. It's true, let's go into the loadout anyhow. Ooh. So what I would normally have would be... Oops. Oh, not used to doing it with the controller. Oh, can't remember how to use the controller. It's the guide. There's no buttons on the screen. How embarrassing. Oops. Oh, thank God. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so rabbit that. Okay, let's go for that. So I'm not gonna use the. Okay, yeah. I see. I've got to have the charge.
You jump on the charge, yeah?
No. I don't want to jump. I need to go. Oops. It's bugged. Oops. Whoa, what's going on?
There you go. So, it's the sword flurry and the charge.
Yeah.
So your main DPS abilities.
Let's try this one. Another
Let's
star
try it,
level. I
let's try it.
apologise to people for putting them through another star level.
So our star levels are a lot more challenging, would you say?
Let's say yes.
Let's say yes.
They're very
very
it's a
challenging.
classic, you see. This
This is one you're well versed on, is it?
well, I haven't played it for a while, but actually, this is I should have had jump in this one actually.
Noob Master, I think I was 7 years old playing Stronghold, and you guys are still around. I love the work. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll be around for a lot longer with Stronghold next over the next year or so. Oh.
Hey,
That's not kill every single one of them in the room then.
No.
Oh, I see. Very clever.
Whoops.
So you can see here, Paul is using the saw blade traps against them. timing his runs perfectly.
Oops, not that perfectly.
You can see the certain, as we said before, certain heroes will do better against certain enemy types. So not only are certain elemental powers good against other elemental creatures, but certain heroes are good against certain sizes of enemies. So the ogre, as you saw there,
I'm gonna swap my loadout.
Clobber.
Oh look, it's working now.
Nice. That's
a bit of a bug now. So I do want jump after all. And see, do I go for? Okay, let's go back. No, I didn't want to do that. Oops. Is that the one? No, is this one? Is it? No, that's the one. I could open my. Yeah, should we open the crate?
Oh, nice. Yes.
What have I got? Oh, stronger rabbit, stronger ogre, raw power.
I think I maxed all those out.
Nice. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Back to here. So
Chelsea Crossing.
Yes.
Cool. And remember,
What are we talking about?
If you guys, I don't know, we're just debating what level. If you guys have any questions for myself or Paul, please put them in the chat section below or to the side. Oh, God damn it, I'm in video mode, not live stream mode. And we'll do our best to answer them. And if you did like the look of MetaMorph today, it is available on Steam Early Access right now. Hoping to have a full version out later down the line. With a whole bunch of new updates for you. So if you want to pick that up right now. What's your favourite historical period and what aspect of it do you find the most interesting? I think I said this before in the Community Spotlight episode 4, which if you haven't seen, it features Gamer Zach and what was the video I did it? Oh yeah, Stronghold Metal, a cover, heavy metal cover of Stronghold thing. Anyway, in that episode, as I said in that episode, the golden age of piracy is mine because of just the lawlessness and the mercenary work and in ships. I've always had a weird fascination with like old timey ships. I guess would be the correct term.
Oops.
But yes, golden age of piracy mainly because I pretend it would just be like the Pirates of the Caribbean, and everything would be fun
nice.
and exciting. What about you, Paul? What's your any favourite part of history?
I see it. I think medieval's obviously good, but I'd probably say Roman.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Rome. The key thing about Roman times is a lot of good stories come out of it. A lot of crazy stuff happening. It's got a bit of everything. I think, hasn't it? I know it's a lot of it's embellished, but there's
Is
a lot of
most history, Paul.
Oh yeah, well, some's true, but some's kind of. I think the key thing about Roman times was it was decadent, which normally, you get quite good stories of debauchery and stuff like that. Yeah, mixed in with the.
It was a rather happier time in history rather than.
Well, I guess depending who you are, and for other people that the Romans.
Oh yeah. I mean, not if you were conquered, but if you're the conquerors, man.
Yeah, but it's just a rich, some very unique things kind of going on in Rome. Oh my gosh, I'm making a mess of this.
What about yourself, CJ? What's your favourite period of history? You should throw some of these questions back, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a dialogue going. That's what they always say. So yes, as Paul goes through this mission, we'll get some questions up. As my
move.
chat
That was
has
a
died.
move. Did anybody see that? It's not.
Oh no, I missed. I missed it.
Half the enemies off the cliff.
My chat seems to be frozen, so give me 1 sec.
Great.
Hey, YouTube, not me. Everything else is working fine. Cool.
Man, I haven't got much health for this shit.
Nice.
Ah.
You do have quite a
Oh no, I didn't.
dive-in life play style.
Yeah, I'm
Just
not
go
very
right-
patient.
Right for the throat.
Tried playing Fortnite. Couldn't really get my head around the idea of just not doing anything for a long period of time.
Well, Fortnite's probably one of the more.
Oops.
Fortnite's probably one of the more action-orientated battle royales out there.
I don't know. From my experience, it basically you just hide a long time seems to be the best way to actually survive.
Oh yeah.
I can't do hiding.
You just go
It just
straight
gets
out
boring.
with your little pistol, just firing
Yeah,
across the
just-
map.
Exactly. See
Yeah.
someone excitedly see someone for once and shoot them,
Yeah.
and then they almost certainly got a far better weapon than I. Oh.
I think so.
So I wasn't really. I didn't walk in there with knowing what health
yeah,
I had.
What was going on?
It's just.
CJ says medieval times are his favourite. Castles are such a pinnacle of
Yeah,
wartime
rubbish.
strategy and advantage. Can see why you might be interested in our games, CJ. Yes, we do study. We do a lot of study on castles and such before going into, especially our European titles. Especially in Stronghold, the original Strongholds, but you had the siege mode and having all the different castles available to you. I'm not sure how accurate the Stronghold HD, the siege mode castles are to the actual real. As in,
Yeah.
do you think are they actually mapped out to the
Yeah, of course.
dimensions? Okay. So yes.
Whoops. Yeah, we have to painstakingly recreate the castles as best we can.
Ah,
Yeah, it's good fun.
that should be that could be a video idea. Going to all these castles and like holding up the the mini map of the castle in Stronghold HD and seeing if it lines up. Probably pretty expensive for what it actually would give players and such. But,
Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Sorry.
grand. Is this the last room? Or is this
I got way beyond here earlier.
Oh, fair.
No, I
Yeah.
died and it took me back.
It's the public pressure. It's getting people.
Well, as long as they don't mind watching me play.
I'm sure. It's part of the charm of MetaMorph, it's, once you finally beat that hard level, it's quite
Oops.
rewarding.
Oh yeah. Oops. I didn't want to do that.
Just switched it. So just final
Ooh.
through. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Just aggroed every single enemy.
I'm
in the
just
level.
avoiding them. No, it's certain levels you can avoid them. That's the whole
Yeah,
point.
true.
I'm trying to do this fast.
Ah, I see. Yes.
Well, I'm trying to do it relatively fast.
Yeah. So yeah, in certain levels you'll be able to. Certain levels will say you have to kill every single enemy. There's no way around it. But certain levels, as Paul has just demonstrated, allow the player to be more strategic, smart, and sneaky, and find ways to circumvent the enemies, find the these gate switches, and progress through the level. So yeah, again, you can play it fast and loose like Paul is here and get your generators out of the way and your gates unlocked, or like someone like myself who takes it slow and steady, and runs around with the fire nymph and simply attacks everything from ages away. Yeah, it's part of the charm, deciding which playstyle you want to go for.
Ooh, have I got any health I can tap into that? What am I going to do?
Yeah, interesting. The CJ, the siege mode modes kind of reminded me of MetaMorph in a way, in that they're kind of game modes. It's a game mode where you can sort of pick a level, everything's all set up for you, and you just go in there and either attack and siege or defend the siege, and just have a quite a short session of fun, which is what we tried to do with MetaMorph.
I need the Ratman for this.
Because we always, the term snack game has been thrown around regarding MetaMorph, in the fact that you can just pick it up and play it for like even 2-3 minutes, as the levels are designed to be 2 or 3 minutes, and then put it down again. So it's a good game to have just minimized, and if you get a bit stressed out, if you need to release some primal anger, just load it up and start killing some skeletons.
I kind of find it quite relaxing.
You seem very relaxed. But yeah, that was part of the design behind it. So yeah, Siege Mode just kind of reminds me of the same thing. Because obviously some Stronghold maps can take quite a long time to complete, but Sieges, especially if you put them on very hard, can be over in a matter of minutes.
Oh my gosh, what am I doing?
Back.
Oh, I was cruising up to that point. Ow, that's going to hurt. Ow. Whoa. Oops.
Nice. As you can see, some ultimate.
Oh, I've only got 10 seconds left.
I totally forgot about this time.
Yeah, it's a... I need to... the door's down there.
They had to be
so
fire.
harsh.
They had to be fire enemies, didn't they?
That's good. It's good to get
your blood
heart
pumping.
going. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Oh, look, I must be able to get through this just in time for the end.
Oh yeah, the time has flown by as we see you hectically hack and slash your way through these dungeon levels. But yeah, as you can see, this is quite a different vibe than the usual Stronghold games. These are quite a lot more intense and full on. But yeah, as I said, the short session times lend themselves to, or lend us to like just give you every single enemy up front, because that's how you have to do it in these sort of short session games. Cruising through this bit.
Oops.
And we get the +10, nice. Circumventing some enemies again. Ooh.
That's what I meant to do last time.
The last bit. Oh, very nice.
Very
nice.
No, I was going to say, I thought it was the end of it. Oh, it's a good level that one. I highly recommend that one.
As you can see, one of the more strategic levels where you can either circumvent the enemies or foolishly try and take them on in the time limit.
That's kind of like, that's the one I mean, that you can kind of speed run that one. So I think we got it down to, that's 6 minutes and 9 seconds, but I think we got it down to 4 minutes and something. Indeed, 4 minutes 40, indeed. I think.
Cool, so a couple more comments before we go. Andre says, snack game, huh? This game looks like it can scratch my Geometry Wars itch.
Great game.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely. That's the sort of vibe we're going for. CJ, as our final question of the session, what game genres do you enjoy yourselves? I'll let Paul go first.
We see, as we're talking about snack gaming,
I love the term.
I do like. You see, I do quite like pinball games.
I see. Yeah.
So in Pinball FX3, I don't know if you've heard about what's going on in the world of video game pinball at the moment.
I must have missed this story.
Well, No, this is enlightening then.
Yeah.
Well, Pinball Arcade had the license to make Williams pinball machines, who are like the greatest sort of in pinball heyday. They were like the best. But about a few months ago, it was announced that they had lost their license, and then a couple of days ago, their rival, who make Pinball FX3, announced that they had now had the license.
Oh, so now
Monopoly. All of basically the tables from one pinball game are all transferring over to the next one. So there's a beta version of Pinball FX3 that has 4 tables available for it now.
Amazing.
Huh?
Amazing.
But yeah, that's what
apart from any others from pinball games. I mean, I suppose the given is strategy games for most people in the studio.
Civilization.
Yeah.
Massive fan. What else do I like? Quite like all kinds of things. GTA 5 I was playing recently.
Yeah.
Never really get into Overwatch.
Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
Big fans.
Used to be a massive fan of Championship Manager before it became Football Manager.
I remember in your interview.
Okay.
Your favourite game of all time.
Yeah. What else? Football games.
Football games are always good.
Yeah, most sports games I quite like actually. City Builders. I like those.
Yeah, it's good. And myself, probably I'd say cinematic action games are probably my pinnacle. That's my favourite genre.
What's a cinematic action game?
So like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, that sort of thing.
Are you going to get the new Spider-Man game?
Isn't it PS4 exclusive? Yeah, I don't have PS4.
What have you got?
I've got just a PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm thinking of getting that PS Now thing though, where you can stream PS4 games onto your PC.
What, can you stream any game?
Or
is it just old games?
It's
or is it certain?
Most of their exclusives, and then their back catalogue of like PS2 and PS3 games. But yeah, for like. I'm waiting for. It'll probably be a while, but for like God of War, and you've got of War to get on there and stuff like that.
Yeah, God of War. I love God of War actually.
Yeah.
I should need to play the new one, but
yeah, so you should probably get a PS4. You should probably just get one. There are so many games on there, honestly. And sort of quite a lot of cinematic games actually are on the PS4.
Yeah.
So there's Naughty Dog and stuff like that on there.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
But yeah, cinematic games, and then below that I'd say like strategy and sort of competitive online, like Dota and Counter-Strike I used to play quite a lot, and then that sort of thing. But yes, with that we will. We've got a suggestion just before we go for Stronghold Warhammer.
Stronghold Warhammer.
Yes, I mean I don't know how that would. The licensing might be a big.
As Total War have it.
Yeah, exactly. As Total War have the license. Well, I don't know if they have it exclusive or whatever, but they seem to be in bed with Total War at the moment. So unfortunately,
doesn't everybody have the Warhammer license? Actually, seems like it.
I have no idea. But yes, with that, we will end the stream. Thank you so much for joining us this evening or this afternoon. Sorry. Again. If you did like the look of MetaMorph, as you can see, it's on Steam in early access at the moment, so go pick yourself up a copy. We're planning on doing a full release later down the line, which will be a free upgrade for everyone who owns it on early access. But yeah, thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you so much for your questions, and me and Paul will see you next week. See you later.